Hello Libra friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Libra November 2021 Astrology Must Knows Horoscope Forecast. Definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com. That is the interface for all of the free things that I do for you each month. You don't want to miss anything I work hard to make you, and you can see all of that at anniehelpsyou.com. You can click on the More button and reveal the notes under the video and it will show you the links there. Also, if you'd like to be a professional astrologer or you would like to learn astrology on deeper levels to help yourself and your family and your friends, you will love my Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Course, which you can see at my school, lumelife.com, L-U-M-E life.com. I also have free courses at my school, so check them out there. We've got two admin notes for Libras to make the most of this video. The first is that this is for you if Libra is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or even if you have another Libra placement like your Mercury or Venus or Mars. Whatever levels you want to go to in your chart, if you have a Libra placement, then this is going to have information that's part of your astrological picture. The next important must know is that if you're a late degree Libra, so if your birthday is October 11th through the rest of the sign, or if you're about 20 to 29 degrees, if you know your degrees, and the later in degree and later in October, the more this is true, then you definitely also want to watch my Scorpio reports, because you late degree people have a more complex read and you need both pieces to give you your bigger astrological picture. Okay, so what do we've got going on this month? November is actually one of my favorite months of the whole year, and there are specific reasons for that, but I will also tell you at the same time, as I love it for so many reasons, it is going to be intense. I've been talking to you about the eclipse cycles, and you know that I always prepare you for those big changes that are definitely coming, and we're ending off the Sagittarius Gemini eclipse cycle and we're starting the new Taurus Scorpio eclipse cycle. And when we're in eclipse season, it feels like your finger is stuck in a socket and you're constantly kind of nervous, or there's just so much activity for good. It could be just totally fun and awesome and just super busy, and the changes could be something that you've been wanting for your whole life. So it's not doomed to be something bad or negative per se, but change in the human psyche always brings that fear of the unknown, and you will be feeling that this month. So that's the first big must know, that you'll be feeling it in your nerves. You might have more issues sleeping. You'll be feeling change. You know, it'll be in the wind. It will be in the air. You'll feel it. And either it's going to be happening to you now, or it's going to be happening to you soon, or it's going to be happening to people close to you, and you're just holding space as other people go through change. But it's definitely going to be going on. The next big must know is that this is a month that all of the energies are rolling out. So, you know, I'm always talking about these astrological tides. In September and October, the tides were coming in. So in a personal planet retrograde like Mercury, which is what we're dealing with, and we're here on the precipice of Venus going retrograde in December, and that shadow period will start later in November. We'll start warming up for that. But we've got this beautiful period of time where the tide is going out. Just kind of imagine something that you're trying to do. And think about the last couple of months, September, October, maybe you're trying to do something, and every time you're trying, it gets pushed back to you. Why? Because the tides are coming in. In the retrograde time, the energies want to be more inward and backwards. In the direct time, they're more out, like shipping your boat out to sea. So November is full of opportunities for things that you need the tides going out for. Your launches, your contracts, your big initiations, your new everything, your engagements, your weddings, your, anything that is an agreement that you're making that needs a push or initiative, or that you need a lot of energy to get something done, or you're revealing something that you've been working on for a long time. November is amazing for that. And specifically, November 3rd through 17th has even more oomph, because November 3rd is when the Mercury post-shadow transit cycle ends, and November 18th is when the pre-Venus retrograde shadow starts. So we're kind of wedged in between in November, although it has a lot of good momentum all month. You will start to see that Venus retrograde things will start coming up. Now, we're not going to cover the Venus retrograde things this video, first of all, because it would take the whole video, but I have a ton of resources on it, and you will definitely want to watch those now, especially if you search for Annie Botticelli Venus retrograde. Watch my 20-minute video on it and get very up to speed on the kind of things you want to avoid as we get deeper into December and January. But this cycle, in one form or another, of Venus retrograde starts November 18th and goes through the beginning of March. So Venus rules love, beauty, and money. There are certain things that are not best to do in that retrograde. And so the more you know, the more you can plan those type of things before or after that cycle. Okay, so that's definitely a big must know. Something else that is a must know for this month, while we will have change in the air, we will have the jangling energies of the eclipses definitely to work with, we do have more sweet aspects than salty aspects this month. And this is the first time since May that has been true. And actually, not only have we had more salty aspects since May until now, they have sometimes been by a landslide. So we've had quite a lot of just road bumps and just, nuisance aspects interspersed between any of the sweet aspects. But this month, we have more sweet aspects than salty. If you want a complete write-up of all of the sweet and salty aspects, what they are, what the dates are, what you can expect from them, delivered into your inbox 1 month early, sign up for my free email newsletter at anniehelpsyou.com, because you will get a write-up and you will be able to be prepared for all of the energies in even more detail. But I will tell you, for our purposes here, one of the reasons why I love this month so much is that from November 26th through November 30th, we have a pileup of 9 beautiful aspects, with 7 of those beautiful aspects happening on the 28th or the 29th and the 30th. So you'll feel those the days before, you'll feel those the days after. It's very rare to have so many sweet aspects at once and to have them unimpeded by a bunch of annoying aspects. So definitely put a gold star on those dates. And if you have to do something important, or if you're expecting something to come in, this is a fantastic, harmonious, positive, supportive time. Now, of course, as astrology is as complex as the universe itself, we do have eclipses. And so it's not to say that something challenging or bad couldn't happen on those in those times. Also, it's everything is just a crapshoot. We never know when any of these things are going to manifest for which people, right? But it is good to know, because if you want to plan a family event or a romantic event or a party or something that is just, wants that more sweet, uninterrupted energy, you're going to have a nice flow there. And it's also good for making important decisions and locking some things in. Okay, so let's see what else. All right, so now I want to talk about some things that are specific to the aspects that are occurring this month. Okay, so let's just kind of do a little review of what's been going on for Libra placements. Libra placements have had the eclipses of Gemini and Sagittarius, which started in the middle of 2020, but the eclipse season started around March 2020. So we know in March 2020, the world shut down, right? And that did partly coincide here with the Sagittarius Gemini eclipses. And we've seen the story of mobility and education and international affairs be very much under scrutiny. And this eclipse cycle has been part of that. So we're going to come to kind of a closing up of this chapter of those storylines. Now, that doesn't mean COVID goes away. It doesn't mean the implications are gone, or however it's affected you directly and indirectly. It means that we're turning, going to a different chapter of whatever the story is going to be. And this has been very extra personal for Libra, because the signs of Sagittarius and Gemini rule the 3rd and 9th houses. And the eclipses have also occurred in the 3rd and 9th houses for Libra. So you guys have been getting the energy of Sag and Gemini through the signs of the eclipses and the houses of the eclipses. And the reason why I talk so much about these eclipses is because they run along the ecliptic, which what also runs along the ecliptic is the North and South node placements, which are calculations based on that ecliptic line. The North node in the chart is your area of highest expression this lifetime. The South node in the chart is the karma, the negative karma, the ancestral patterning, the difficulties, the lessons you're supposed to be learning, and also good karma, and also good gifts and things that you brought with you into this lifetime that were positive. But at the eclipse time, part of why it's really anxiety-ridden in a lot of ways is because stuff that's unconscious comes up to the surface and is reflected out into our lives in very conscious, active ways. And we're like playing with and interfacing with our karma. And so we have the chance to wipe clean karmic slates, and we have the chance to activate higher levels of our destiny. So that is why the eclipses are so important, and here we are right in the season. So let's talk more about where those eclipses are going to affect you. So what's starting to be aspected now as the Sag-Gemini eclipse cycle is finishing and the Taurus-Scorpio eclipse cycle is beginning, let's talk about this Taurus eclipse cycle for a second. The last time this cycle happened was from the end of 2012 through the end of 2014. It's now happening from the end of 2021 to the end of 2023. So the themes that are coming up now are likely going to be in effect, if they're eclipse related, are going to be in effect for 2 years. You can think back to the kinds of things that went on in 2012 to 2014. Now, if something bad happened then, it doesn't mean something bad will happen now. I often get that question because there were other astrological things at play that could have been a trigger for whatever happened at that time. But you'll see the types of things that are coming up to deal with. And the types of things for Libra are going to be very much related to your money and your self-sufficiency versus other people's money and other people's self-sufficiency and their resources and your resources. And now, true, the same thing that we described with the Sagittarius Gemini, that you were having the effects in the sign, but also the 3rd and 9th houses that rule those signs, it's going to be the same way for you now. So everyone in the zodiac is experiencing the Taurus-Scorpio eclipse cycle for these next couple of years and everything that goes along with it. But you're also experiencing it in those houses in your chart, which make all of this doubly true for you. So individual sustainability, questions like, is your lifestyle sustainable? Are your finances sustainable? Is your job sustainable? Are your interpersonal relationships sustainable? You know, what is your relationship with money? What is your relationship with the currency of the country that you're in? You know, what is the currency doing in your country? What are the money topics? And those of you who are not savvy about money things, you might see that now is a time where you're starting to ask different questions. Government money, government resources, taxes, credit, debt, inheritances, even sweepstakes and winnings. Those types of things where it's like someone else's money, but it can become your money and maybe you're sharing it, loans, things like that are going to be super active, not just now in November, but for the next couple of years. And you'll see a very big reshuffling around of energy. So you might see income streams ending, and you might see new income streams coming in, and just the way that you experience money is going to be shuffled around. If you want to see more details about how these eclipses might affect you, I definitely suggest that you go to my Annie Botticelli YouTube homepage and you look at my eclipse playlist. And the ones that are relevant for Libras are eclipses in Taurus, eclipses in Sagittarius, and also eclipses in Scorpio. Okay? So just watch those to get more details about how that can manifest. And we're going to talk about some other things, but just know that change is in the air. That could be very positive, and you might step into a different level of the life of your dreams at this time, but very often it is going to require letting go of something, and sometimes the things that have to be let go of are not things that you want to let go of. So you just have to watch and see, because there is a certain level of fatedness at eclipse time where it might seem like you have a choice, but in a lot of ways, the things are out of your control that are happening. So you have the choice to just accept them and move forward, or wrestle with the resistance. And the resistance is part of what's going to come up at this time. But overall, a very energizing, very exciting, very active time of the year. Very, very busy. The next thing that is very relevant is that the Scorpio energies are continuing, and those are going to continue bringing a lot of heavy emotion or strong emotion and the topics of partnership and intimacy. This doesn't have to be a bad thing, but it can be a challenging thing if there are emotions that are not dealt with, and it might be someone else's emotions. Maybe you're completely fine and centered, and maybe other people around you are going through things, and you have a chance to go to a deeper level of intimacy because of your capacity to listen and hold space for them. Or you might need some shoulders to lean on, and you'll find that now that Jupiter is direct, the odds that friends are going to show up for you, or finding a group or a support group or something like that, is going to be increased because of Jupiter's movement direct through Aquarius, which rules the friendships in those types of groups. Something else that's a must know for this time is that we are having planets moving into Sagittarius. We have the sun getting there. Venus has been moving through there. Of course, the eclipse in December is going to be there, but we are feeling that eclipse now as well. And so these topics of immigration, of education, the questions of staying home to be educated or going out to an institution for yourself or your kids, the questions of being home for work or going into the office for work. Is your work sustainable, like we talked about before? Are your finances sustainable? Do you need to or want to make changes that can give you more of what you want? So this is a really important time for Libras to make a priority list, because a lot of the things we're living through right now are things that we prioritized in the past. And so we're still kind of focusing on whatever we've been putting energy towards, right? So when you write your list of new priorities, you can measure and see to what degree is the way that you're spending your time, the way you're spending your resources, matching with your new priorities, and you can start to make the changes that match your new priorities. It's very exciting. And there is this energy of Venus about to go into Capricorn and then getting into Capricorn and moving through Capricorn that is going to bring this sort of critical eye or careful, practical eye to the energy of your finances and to the energy of how you're using your energy, like on a day-to-day basis. It's not just your money, it's also how much are you getting involved in other people's dramas? Are you watching the news too much and it's stressing you out? You know, how much are the problems that you're experiencing really your own problems, and how much are you getting wrapped up into not setting boundaries with other people? Those types of questions are going to be coming up in a very big way now. All right, let's see what else I wanted to talk about. Yes, okay, so another major must know, just talking about some analogies that I used in the past. I always talk about the spider and the weaving of the web. Okay, so when we were in September and October, I was saying that that's a time to sort of just sit back and let the food come to you in the web that you've already built. You're not trying to build new webs in different places and get a whole bunch of webs going in September, October, okay? But now in November, this is an active web weaving time. This is a time for expansion. This is a time for spreading, widening your breadth. This is, and even depth. And so it's a time for planting seeds and basically just the visual of the web. If you have one web where your food has been coming in, it's the time to build webs in other places. Then as we go deeper into the Venus retrograde, then you'll have more webs that you have built, and then you'll be back again to kind of sitting and watching to see what food comes into your now expanded webs. So overall, the eclipse cycle that we're stepping out of has been in a great angle for you, and the new eclipse cycle is in a little bit of a tougher angle for you. Okay, so this is nothing to fear, but just know that you're going to have to stretch a little bit. You're going to have to grow, and in places where you've become complacent, you're going to be maybe not as complacent, either because external forces are not letting you be, or because of an internal motivation to improve your circumstances that are superseding your previous complacency. So overall, I'm very excited about this month for Libras. I'm very excited about this month in general. And definitely check out my eclipse resources, and definitely check out my Venus retrograde resources. I actually also have a Venus retrograde through the signs and houses blog series on my website, because it is such an all-encompassing division of labors that Venus has, and you'll definitely want to know a lot about how that can affect you and how to line up your plans, because there are some pretty big no-nos during Venus retrograde. So if those are things you've been planning on doing, you might want to do those things in November. And so you can check the Venus retrograde video to see more about that. Well, as usual, I've given you lots of information to help you make the most of the starry opportunities. If you'd like even more information, you can go to anniehelpsyou.com, which is where you can connect in with my podcast, all of my blog sites, my books, my courses. I've got all kinds of free goodies, so you can check all that out at anniehelpsyou.com. You can check out my school, lumelife.com, Lume life.com. That's my school, Luminous Life Multiverse University. And if you'd like to be a professional astrologer or just learn astrology because you love it and you want to help yourself and your friends, you can see my course there, Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Course. If you think I go into a lot of details with the free offerings that I do every month, then you should see the details I go into in the comprehensive, organized nature of this course that will equip you to do whatever you'd like to do with astrology. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye!